On the last day of September, Steve Clarke has announced his Scotland squad for the Greece and Belarus games. Welcome back to Fog Football. Green Day had that song, Wake Me Up When September Ends. Steve Clarke may as well have the song Wake Me Up When Clark Ball Ends, because nobody really cares for this, man. The season, we're getting into the European games. Rangers are finally moving up the table. I was going to say I'm a happy man. I'm not a happy man. Point is, club football over this shite every day of the week. Now, when these games happen, we need to win. 6 points out of 6. Is this squad that he's assembled going to do that? Well, let's get into it. Craig Gordon is returning, right? He's back. Angus Gunn and Liam Kelly. Craig Gordon, to be honest, I don't know if he made the bench for Hearts at the weekend when they beat Falkirk 3-0. I know he didn't start, so I don't know. I'm going to assume that he's back. He's been cleared. He has to be. There's no way he would pick him without it. And again, I'm not going to make it all about the Craig Gordon show here, but if we did get to the World Cup, it would be an injustice for this guy not to be going and not playing. He has to play for me. I say he has to play. If his form and his ability drops off a cliff and he's like the worst goalkeeper ever, then he shouldn't be playing. But the last couple of tournaments, man, the last couple of Euros, this guy's been snookered, man. He's been hoovered out of playing. Especially, the last one you could say he's just coming back, double leg break. What was that 2021 Euros, man? Davy Marshall absolutely jobs his clean out against the Czech Republic and then just starts off 3 games. Didn't really understand that. But yeah, Craig Gordon's back. Angus Gunn probably will start these 2 games. Liam Kelly also in there. We'll move on to the defenders. Grant Hanley, Jack Hendry, Aaron Hickey, Scott McKenna, Anthony Ralston, Andy Robertson, John Suter, and Kieran Tierney. So, what's the talking points here? Kieran Tierney and Anthony Ralston back in to the Scotland squad. Max Johnson in there. Hanley's in there. Hendry, Hickey. There's no Nathan Patterson. I don't really know. Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know an awful lot about Nathan Patterson's career the last year, right? But I'm going to assume he's injured, because there's no way if he was fully fit and firing. And honestly, I'd rather Donovan in from Celtic than Anthony Ralston. Honestly, folks, I just don't see the purpose of Anthony Ralston in this squad. He's pish. Let's see here. So, yeah, Max Johnson and Blackburn Rovers central defender Dominic Haim also dropped him out. So, there's that. What else is there? Was he in the last squad? I think he got called up actually when. No, he must. Hold on. Craig Gordon's got a neck injury. How the fuck did he get a neck injury? Early March or early May? Don't recall that. And obviously both games were on the BBC, but yeah, in terms of other centre backs, I can't really think about who's actually missing there. Defenders, no real issue, right? Midfielders, this is where business picks up, baby, because we've got Ryan Christie, Lewis Ferguson, Ben Doak, Ben Gannon Doak, let's just call him Ben Doak, Billy Gilmore, John McGinn, Kenny McLean, Scott McTominay, and Lennon Miller. Yeah, we all know the elephant in the room here, Kenny McLean. Come on, guys. How is Kenny McLean still getting picked in this squad? I don't know. Obviously, we recently had the battle of Ferguson and McGinn at Phillip Park. John McGinn came out on top and he scored the goal. Scott McTominay and Billy Gilmore had a good start to the season. Lost narrowly to AC Milan at the weekend. Ryan Christie, to be honest, I don't really know. What's he been doing for Bournemouth? I haven't really seen English football. It's dead. And obviously Lennon Miller's been banging in the goals, hasn't he? So, midfielders, no real complaints in there. Apart from Kenny McLean, but who else would you put in over Kenny McLean? See, the problem is there's that much of a pool to choose from. It's hard for me to actually think off the top of my head who would get in, but I'm looking like Luke McCowan, Barron, Lyle Cameron. I'd much rather any of those 3. And that's just off the top of my head. I'm sure there's plenty of other guys I could sit here. Josh Mulligan. I just don't think Kenny McLean has got fucking anything to offer, folks, at this stage of the game. But into a forward area, we have got Shea Adams, Kieran Boy, Dykes and Hurst. Now, I don't know anything George Hurst has done for me. I would be putting Lawrence Shankland in here every single day of the week. Hearts are top of the league. I'm not saying it's all down to Shankland. He's not scored an insane amount of goals, but his hold-up play, he still scored goals though. I mean, he scored 2 against Rangers. He scored a great one there against Falkirk. He's still bagging in. How Lawrence Shankland is not getting picked for the Scotland squad, I don't know, right? I honestly don't know. Lyndon Dykes, I think he scored a few for Birmingham. I don't really know what Shea Adams has done. I'll accept Kieran Boy's form has dropped off a cliff, right, in the past month. And see Steve Clarke, though, that's on fucking him. Because, see, throughout August, Kieran Boy was playing great. Easily the best informed striker we had as a nation, right? Banging in goals in Europe, wonder goals, etc, etc, etc. Was unplayable in some of those European games, right? Gets called up and practically doesn't play. Gets like 2 minutes. I'm not saying you can blame Steve Clarke for this guy's drop off in form, but Jesus Christ, why not strike while the iron is hot for once, Clarke, man? Why's it got to take a player, right, in a position to literally die of old age before he brings in the new blood? That's what it literally takes, man. Crazy. But yeah, I don't really know what else is. I don't know what George Hurst is doing, but for me, I think Shankland's got to be in there. But yeah, that squad is more than good enough to beat Greece at home and beat Belarus at home, and that's what we need to do if we've got any hope of getting to the World Cup. We need that, man. We need these 6 points. 6 points get us to 10, and that leaves us with a 2-game shootout essentially back in November. So yeah, leave your thoughts down below. Till next time, peace.